Imagine waking up and realizing you owe more money than entire countries. Not millions, not billions, $300 billion. That's not just a number, that's a disaster. This is the story of Evergrande, a company that looked unstoppable until it wasn't. At its peak, Evergrande was everywhere. Over 1,300 projects across more than 280 cities. They weren't just building homes, they were building entire cities. From the outside, it looked perfect. Fast growth, massive projects, endless expansion. But behind the scenes, something was wrong. To understand this, we have to go back. 1996. China was changing fast. Millions of people were moving into cities, and they all needed homes. A man named Hui Ka-yan saw the opportunity. He started small, but he thought big. Buy land cheap, build fast, sell quickly, then repeat. And for years, it worked. The company kept growing. Bigger projects, more cities, more money. Investors believed in the vision. Evergrande became a symbol of success. But here's the problem. That growth depended on one thing: debt. They borrowed money to buy land, sold apartments before they were even built, then used that money to pay old loans and start again. It looked like a smart system, but it only worked if money kept coming in. And then, things started to change. Evergrande didn't stop at real estate. They went into electric cars, bought a football club, invested in theme parks, even bottled water. Billions of dollars going into businesses that weren't making profit. This wasn't expansion anymore. This was risk, and it was growing fast. Then came the turning point. In 2020, the government stepped in. Too much debt, too much risk. New rules were introduced, strict limits on borrowing. Suddenly, Evergrande couldn't do what it always did. They couldn't take new loans to pay old ones, and that broke everything. Projects slowed down, payments were missed, confidence started to disappear. Investors began to worry. Buyers started asking questions. And then, the truth came out. The company wasn't just struggling, it had been hiding the real situation. Revenue numbers didn't match reality. Billions were overstated. Trust collapsed. And once trust is gone, everything else follows. Protests began. People who paid for homes were left waiting. Buildings stood unfinished. Investors realized they might never see their money again. It became a slow collapse, one step at a time, until finally, it was over. A court ordered the company to shut down. Liquidation. The fall of a $300 billion empire. But this wasn't just a company failing. Too many people were involved. Families waiting for homes, investors losing everything, an entire system under pressure. And the effects are still spreading. So what really caused this? Not just debt, not just bad decisions, it was something deeper. Overconfidence. Expansion without control. Ignoring the warning signs. Evergrande believed it was too big to fail, but no company is, no matter how big it looks. Because in the end, numbers don't lie. And when the foundation is weak, everything eventually collapses. $300 billion gone, and a lesson the world won't forget. If you found this story interesting, there are many more like this. Stories of companies that rose fast, made bold decisions, and sometimes paid the price. This is Nexora, where we break down real business stories in a way that actually makes sense. If you enjoy this kind of content, you can subscribe and be part of the journey. And I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you think Evergrande could have avoided this? Or was the collapse inevitable? Let me know in the comments.